let's start right out with it. Adam Cole. For Christmas, I got my hopes dashed, not only of Adam Cole ever doing anything worthwhile in the wrestling business again, but now if the Undisputed Era is reunited, I don't give a shit. The first 20 to 25 minutes of this program was every bad habit that AEW has ever had that they haven't learned how to not do. From the start, when they actually match, this is national television. They're coming on the air at 8 o'clock, and the match is Adam Cole versus our little dog Pockets. The company mascot opens the show against a guy who was a WWE superstar until just about 3 or 4 weeks ago and has now been relegated to bad comedy skits. So I as soon as I saw the match, I said, okay, they've completely nullified any meaningful impact that Adam Cole could have had on their business. He was put in a secondary position when he debuted underneath Danielson, and he's been associating with clowns and jackoffs and immersed himself in bad comedy ever since. And I was hoping that the Undisputed Era reforming, or much of it, might have an impact. We will find out that it won't. So I fast forwarded this because I'm not going to watch this match. It's a fucking joke, right? It's an insult to what I thought Adam Cole had for a career. It went 20 minutes. 20 minutes with this fucking guy. One good sign said Kyle O'Reilly and Bobby Fish are better than the Hardley Boys. But then Bobby Fish comes out to distract the mascot. Like Adam Cole should need distraction to beat the company mascot. And then Kyle O'Reilly comes in the ring from behind. The people see him like, oh shit. He hits 3 strikes. Bing, bing, bing. On our little dog Pockets before Pockets falls to the ground and then jumps out, and Adam Cole rolls in and still hits his finish on his fucking wafer thin, fishy white fucking joke.
Which one are you talking about? Is wafer thin?
Well, now
fishy
it's
white?
both of them, unfortunately.
Yeah, give me a break.
So then O'Reilly gets on Pockets on top of him to start beating the shit out of him. And guess what they did? Fake punches that looked like shit because Pockets was all covered up and there was no place to hit him. And O'Reilly is doing the same thing now that all the other outlaw guys do, where they just throw punches in the vicinity of the head and they have no steam behind them and they don't land and they look like shit. So instead of bringing the company up, they have debuted 3/4 of the top group from NXT that for the last 3 years. Bobby Fish hadn't won a match yet. Cole needs help to beat the company mascot, and Kyle O'Reilly debuts against the Puddin' Gang. Then Page and O'Reilly face off like they might be mad at each other, because remember, they actually broke up in NXT before they all left. But at this point, while they're facing off at each other, here comes Trent and Muffin Top Taylor, and the people do not react. They run into the ring, and then Cole and Fish and O'Reilly all turn around together and start beating up the Puddin' Gang, and the fans didn't care. As a matter of fact, the ones that were making noise were a slight undisputed chant, while the heels are kicking the shit out of the supposed baby faces. They're chanting for the heels. Then Fish and O'Reilly hit a modified double goozle on Trent, turn him upside down, and got a pop for that. So they're turning babyface by beating these fucking schlubs up, because it's Greensboro especially, and the fans in general have gotten tired of seeing these fucking mud show idiots on every national TV program. So then Cole and Fish and O'Reilly stand there while the job guys that they beat up magically disappear, and the people are just blah, because they just beat up some job guys. And then out come the Hardy Boys. So now they're going to do another jealous ex-lover angle, this time between them and Cole. And the Hardy Boys come in and stand there staring at Adam Cole. Adam Cole staring at them. Fish and O'Reilly have their backs turned to the Hardy Boys and won't look at them, which looks very unnatural, since people have just come into the ring that you probably ought to keep an eye on. And they're all standing there waiting for the people to start caring and making noise and cheering or booing or rumbling or something. And they didn't. All the fans are going, what the fuck have we just seen here? And why are we seeing it? And then Cole and Fish and O'Reilly leave together, and the Hardy Boys are standing there, and the announcers are selling it as an explosive situation, and the only noise in the arena is Adam Cole's music playing to cover up the crickets chirping. Your thoughts?
Obviously, I have not been a fan of anything with Adam Cole and AEW so far. The Orange Cassidy feud maybe being the bottom of the barrel so far. So I wasn't really looking forward to this match, and I'm going to be honest, I didn't watch it too closely. I'm not going to disagree with any of your problems with Orange Cassidy. He's in better shape than Adam Cole. He's got a six-pack. He's got some muscles. He's in better shape than Adam Cole. So that's why I jumped in before when you were talking about the shape, just because Adam Cole has all the ability, but this is what he's doing right now, and this guy's in better shape. Kyle O'Reilly, they had an opportunity for a big debut. I personally don't think they captured that opportunity well here.
He didn't debut against any main event star on the roster. He didn't debut against anybody that would be in a key position on a pay-per-view. He didn't debut against anybody that would be in a key position to draw money in a main event match. He jumps in and helps, doesn't even do it by himself, helps Adam Cole beat the company mascot.
And it seemed to me, and I've always said that sometimes, I don't know if there's issues between how it's coming across on TV and how it is in the room, but you just said the same thing. It seemed to me like the room was dead for all this, and it's happened before with Young Bucks book stuff, where I forget what the angle was. It was something with Omega where there was just a lot of standing around waiting for I don't know what. It was almost like they were trying to remember what to do next, and they didn't know when to start or how to do it?
No, I think they were standing there thinking that the people would start rumbling and have this major thing where they all stood up and got into this confrontation between Adam's new group and his old group. And obviously the people wanted to see Adam with his old group, not against job guys. And I don't think they gave a shit about Adam's new group of job guys and comedy figures. And they didn't make any noise. And they're all standing there waiting for the fans to get into this shit. That brings up, are the Hardy Boys burying these guys on purpose now, doing bad shit with them? Or are they convinced that they're still over now that people are starting to see through them? And they've got better talent in the company.
See, I think part of the problem is even the diehard Young Bucks fans who will rave about their matches and their work rate and everything they do, and they're the greatest of all time, and no one has ever flipped like they flip. Even that fan has to admit their angles and their promos are awful. They're not good at that end of the business at all. I'm not a fan of their wrestling either, but I can acknowledge they have big fan base for that, I should say. But their comedy, their promos, their angles, it's always the worst thing on the show. And it's weird. Whenever it's a Southern California influence on AEW, it's usually the worst segment in the show. If it's from Chicago or the East Coast or even the Southeast, it's typically all right. But this was not good, and it was a waste of Kyle O'Reilly, and having the best friends in the mix here immediately drags it down. I know they don't see it this way because they're baby faces and they sell some merch, but it's like having the Hardy family office involved with something. It immediately drags it down to, oh, these guys are jobbers. This is a jerk-off thing. I don't care how popular Orange Cassidy is with some people. And then that's how you debut Kyle O'Reilly, and then I just don't think people care about the Bucks programs. They just want to see the flips in the matches.